It had that song Superman. Pretending I'm a Superman.
'Cause it's too cold.
Welcome everyone to New Life Podcast. I'm Kenny, and over here is...
My name's Tyler.
All right, so today our topic is routine and daily habits.
How to optimize your life.
Yes, we think this is very important, especially, one of the most important things for regarding your day is how you wake up, what your state of mind is, what your goals are for that day. So we wanted to make this our second episode right after our introduction episode.
And I also want to start off the conversation by saying that no one is perfect, and we're going to talk about different ways to make your life better, different habits you can have, but you might not hit all of them every day. And
Correct,
honestly, no one will.
And it's all about what you like to say, the 1%, It's about doing something, getting the most you can, and not just saying, oh, you know what? I didn't wake up at 7 and go to the gym. Screw this day. Let me eat garbage. Let me not stretch out. Let me not,
be able to make a mistake, but move forward.
Exactly. It's like a cheat meal. When you have a cheat meal one day, you have a cheat meal, and then you move on with your,
Right. Yeah,
lifestyle.
momentum's huge. Once you get one habit down, it builds momentum for all the rest.
It becomes easier.
But what made me think of that is that's productive momentum, but ill-productive momentum, like you said, you eat a bad meal and then you feel bad about yourself, so all your rest of your meals are going to be bad after that. That's just a big spiral downward.
It's like the
Snowball.
domino effect, or
snowball
snowball.
effect.
Same thing, just different shape.
Yeah, and that's going to happen regardless, so choose to have that go productively in your favor,
Exactly. And like we said earlier, if you didn't wake up and go to the gym at 7, have a good breakfast, because then from there on you can probably, keep going up.
Or maybe you didn't make it to the gym for your normal 90-minute workout, but maybe you can go for a walk for 20 minutes, get some fresh air before your day starts.
Yeah.
And that also makes me think that I guess it'll be great to open up with this too, is how to tune your body and being able to be in tune for your day, be in tune to be able to take other people's energy on. And the reason I choose those words is I'll give you an analogy, and it is a band, a concert, famous singer, pick your favorite one. If they're playing a concert for someone and they're playing guitar and their guitar's out of tune, it's going to sound like shit for the entire audience. So he would probably tune his guitar so that it sounds much better and the performance goes on and it's amazing. And you have to do that the same with your body every single day, with your mind, I should say. And how to check in with yourself, make sure you're ready to go and able to interact with other people.
Yeah, I agree.
So some different ways to do that.
Yeah, so each one of us is going to touch on their daily habits and routine. And, we both do different things. Everyone listening will do different things. We're all built differently. Some people wake up better. Some people have breakfast. Some people don't, so it's everyone's different. So you need to kind of like play around with all these different aspects of having a daily routine and figure out what's better for you, what is optimal for you. And, we're going to talk a little bit about what we do. So, Tyler, what do you do?
What do I do?
I put you on the spot, huh?
Yeah. So, honestly, I know how I am. It's really hard for me to wake up in the morning. I literally tell people sometimes it's the first hardest thing I do every day. I guess, obviously, it's the first. But it's the hardest thing that I do every single day is to get out of my bed. So I purposely force work upon myself pretty early so that it makes me get up earlier.
Yeah.
So I start work around 6 a.m. every day, training, which I absolutely love. Like I said, just that initial getting out of bed, I'm still working on. It's still very, very difficult. But yeah, once I'm up, all the lights I can put on are on. Flick them all on. Get your body awake. If the sun's out, I try to walk right outside and at least just go for a walk, get a few big breaths of air. depending how much time I have. Maybe ground down, put my feet in the grass, and just take a moment for myself to kind of appreciate the sunrise if it's there, appreciate the fresh air, appreciate being alive, and then, clean my mouth, brush my teeth, and shower. I usually just normal shower quickly, and then at the end I make it really, really cold. I count my breaths. I don't count time, but I count 10 really, really slow breaths once my breath slows down, because sometimes, depending how I'm feeling, it takes a little bit for the breath to actually slow down.
Yeah.
And then after that, I feel amazing, ready to go. I usually drink a big glass of lemon water. I just squeeze half of a lemon into a cup, fill it with water, preferably not freezing cold, room temperature, chug it. Sometimes I put some salt in my mouth as well, depending how I'm feeling. Salt's great too. Depending how much water you drink, you need salt to balance that out and absorb the water inside your body. So I can touch on that later as well. But after that, I'm usually rushing right out the door because that's all I have time for once I get my clothes on and stuff like that. And then I'm off to work. And then I was doing coffee once I got to work for the past year and a half. And just recently, it's been a week now, I've cut coffee completely from my diet just to experiment. I'm still consuming caffeine, but not until like lunchtime, only if I want to. So it's a lot less, maybe like a pre-workout or something, for example. But I've completely cut coffee out. And, the first 2 days were a little but I've noticed the rest of my day now is amazing.
Yeah.
I would crash around noon every day because I'm getting up kind of early. And that's also why I push breakfast off. But I don't know if it is the coffee, but recently I've had more energy throughout the middle part of my day, which I really like. I'm able to get a little more done, and I think it's because instead of that cup of coffee I'm having, I'm just drinking water. And then, I'm doing matcha too. That's kind of what I was using to replace my coffee because I still want that hot, warm drink that tastes better than water. And it's got some good gut benefits to it. And there's that little bit of caffeine, but a lot less than coffee. Point is, so then I push lunch off, and then I eat around noon. And then I like doing that because I find when I'm on an empty stomach, I'm much more focused. And I can really focus on my clients. I have more mental clarity on, what exercises to give next, things like that. And sometimes if there's a group of people, I got to be on my A game, like thinking fast. So I can't be eating, and it just clouds my mind that early anyway, personally. And then, I eat lunch, and then probably work out shortly after that, get some computer work, busy work done. And then I work out, usually. I actually haven't been working out that much. But what I've found personally, and I do personal training for a living, but my exercise routine has been very crazy, to be honest. I write workout plans. I've never followed one, at least not for long. But what I've found is I've been working out less naturally because I've been busy. But when I work out, it's pretty quick too. I'd say 60 minutes. But I'm really, really focused, and I have a very specific intention. And my strength gains have been improving tremendously by the week. So, it just goes to show you don't need to be in the gym 90 minutes, 2 hours every single day. Obviously, if you enjoy it for mental health reasons, because I was that person for a while. But you don't need it to reach certain goals. And just personally for me, like I have a lot of body weight goals, and like, for example, handstand, and just having specific intention and deliberate practice on a specific goal, it's been helping a lot. So, yeah.
Cool. So, do you want to finish your day, or you want me to start with mine, and then we'll talk about?
Well, let me hear yours, and then we'll kind of touch on morning routine, and then we'll move on to the evening to finish up.
So what I do is I'm fine waking up. I've always been like that person that gets up and I'm ready to go. If I don't sleep too much, and I think we spoke about this earlier, where the past 2-3 days I was very tired during the day, and I was trying to figure out why. And so last night I slept 6.5 hours, which is like, for me, 6.5 to 7 hours is like perfect. My energy level, it's like consistent throughout the day. I feel good. So, I figured that out. So I think I was sleeping too much the past few days. So I get up, go ahead.
It's interesting that too little sleep versus too much sleep can affect you tremendously.
Yeah.
You think the more you sleep, the more energy you'll have during the day, but it's totally wrong.
No, and I feel like, this is just my personal opinion, but they always say 8 hours, 8 hours. I feel like everyone's different, because if I sleep 8 hours, I'm tired during the day, I can't sleep more than 7 hours. 6.5 to 7, it's like perfect. And I can feel the difference. It's tangible if I sleep 7 hours versus 7.5. So yeah, I like waking up earlier than I have to, because I don't like rushing. So in the morning, I get up. I try not to touch my phone for the first hour that I'm up, just so, I'm not being stimulated, like watching something funny, As soon as I wake up, I like just waking up and getting into my routine, taking a shower, brushing my teeth.
Focusing on yourself.
Exactly.
Maybe saying good morning to your loved ones.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you should be doing, rather than judging yourself with other people on social media, or just seeing other people on social media, for example.
Yeah. And getting some sun. I try to get some sun. If the sun isn't out, I turn the lights on. In my office, I have, which is in my basement, it's a drawing light. It's like, it looks like a tablet, and it's a very bright light. I guess people use that to like trace color over. Yeah, but it's just white. So you can do like yellow and like non-blue light. So
I heard red light's good before bed.
Yeah. So I do. If I can't get sunlight, I get some light exposure that way. And drink water. I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat until noon, just like you. Just because I've noticed that I'm a lot more focused, I like eating when I'm hungry, so I'm not hungry in the morning, so I'm not going to eat breakfast just because they say breakfast is the best. And funny fact, I learned that, I don't know if this is true, that breakfast is the most important meal was invented by Kellogg's, which we should do.
Marketing, yeah.
Yeah, we should do some research on that and see if it's true.
That's pretty cool. Well, I do just want to say, though, that breakfast means you're breaking your fast. So technically when we eat at noon, that is our breakfast.
Yeah.
And then lunch isn't real. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just meals. There's all these beliefs around a lot of things, which we'll touch on. But like the belief that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, don't skip it. You're never skipping it. It's just when you eat. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like Monday. People hate Mondays, but if they made Monday Wednesday, then everyone would hate Wednesday, because that's when the week is starting,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same.
So it's really just the first meal of the day is the most important meal of the day.
It's definitely a very important meal of the day, because it's the first thing you're putting into your body. And I'm glad you said that, because, that should be something nutritious, probably. Something that's not going to hinder you the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And I do just want to mention real quick that's why I do the lemon water. Kind of a fun fact that lemons, the acidity of it actually has the reverse effect inside your body and alkalizes your stomach. And when you eat certain foods like meats, for example, a lot of protein, which we want to be high in our diet, that makes your stomach very acidic. So I do the lemon water in the morning because it prepares your stomach for food. It's pre-alkalizing it and ready to go to take on food. Just good for overall gut health. And then the bonus benefits are boost of vitamin C and probably a lot of other things that I don't even know about. Antioxidants, things like that.
Yeah. That's probably something I should start doing. I just drink, regular water. And I notice I'm a lot more productive in the morning, or this is crazy, like after 1 in the morning. Like which I don't suggest this to anyone, but if I have like a project that I have to really focus on and work on for 2 or 3 hours, I'll usually, start working like around 12 midnight, 1 a.m. And I think it's because I'm not distracted with anything else. You know, no one's calling or
You
texting
know-
at that time.
Yeah, and
You're-
subconsciously, you know nothing else is going on. At work.
Exactly, you know. So I do focus a lot more at that time, you know. And then I have lunch or breakfast, if you want to call it, at 12. And, you know, that usually consists of a nothing processed, you know. So either rice, potatoes. I only use extra virgin olive oil or butter. You know, I don't like those canola, corn, vegetable
All the
oils.
vegetable
Yeah, they
oils.
have a lot of inflammatory
And it's
agents
amazing.
in them.
If you just read ingredient labels, you'll see how much vegetable oil is in literally everything.
Oh my God, I used to use for my coffee the French vanilla creamer.
Yeah.
Dude, for years, one day I looked at the label. The first ingredient is vegetable oil.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's milk, sugar, and then vegetable oil.
No,
Sorry,
because
I'm
they're
kind of
non-dairy.
familiar with it. Oh, right.
Yeah, like the big brand, which I don't know, we
Coffee
probably
Mate.
shouldn't say.
Oh, yeah, we-
But yeah, the first ingredient is vegetable oil, which is crazy. You're putting hydrogenated oil into your body
First thing.
first thing in the morning, you know. So that's why we should really, really consider what we're consuming. Look at labels, you know, because sometimes I think I told you a few months ago I don't eat gluten, and I had a piece of cornbread, and the first ingredient in that was wheat flour, which
Yeah.
is crazy because I made cornbread myself, and it's just cornmeal, you know. And it knocked me out for like 2 days. I was like, I couldn't get anything done.
It's crazy how your body can adapt to. Obviously, you have a gluten intolerance, and
But I didn't.
you would react before. But
Yeah.
now that you haven't had it for years on end, now you have it. It hits you even harder.
Yeah, it does. And believe it or not, I didn't have an intolerance, you know. I mean, it's not like I felt great after it, but I decided to not consume it just because, you know, I know at least for me it wasn't good. And now, man, like I've become very sensitive to it, you know.
Yeah, and same goes for like vegans, for example. Once, you know, if you're vegan for 2 years and then you have meat for that one random time on accident, let's just say, it's gonna probably fuck you up real bad.
Yeah, yeah.
But your body adapts. That's the point of this, because some people eat meat only. Their body adapts to that. So it's about finding whatever works best for you. And I think in both of our opinions, the answer is balance. Personally, I do more meats and fruits based, less vegetables, less carbs, I should say, less starchy carbs, I should say, because, you know, potatoes, rice, I eat those as much as I can. But the breads, the pastas, the wheat, the flour, the breads, it's just, personally,
Yeah.
I notice the
Right.
more
You did mention
inflammation,
that,
a
yeah.
little more brain fog in the mornings. So I want to start to I want to do an experiment and really be strict with myself for like a month and cut it out and see what happens, and then see what happens when I add it back in. You know,
Yeah.
once.
Cool.
But it's
cool.
hard to do, man.
It's very hard, especially gluten, other things like soy.
We are surrounded by it
in
socially.
socially, man. It's like if you go to a restaurant, the first thing
They give you
is
the bread.
bread, you know, and some places 90% of their menu has, you know, some type of bread in or bread or
And
something like that.
you hang out with the boys on the weekend. Let's get pizza.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
It's hard. I mean, I feel like a lot of these lifestyle / health / fitness, trends that we want to follow are hard to keep in mind when you're socializing, you know. So, for example, I cut alcohol. You know, it's been some time, I don't remember, but it's been a significant time, and because I watched a podcast on alcohol, and my mind was blown. I didn't know it was that bad for you. You know, in my head, I always thought, you know, a little alcohol 2-3 times a week doesn't do anything. That's what I thought. You know, I even thought it was good for you, and I learned that it isn't. You know, so it's hard because if you're socializing, everyone's drinking, everyone's eating something that has wheat in it. Everyone's eating processed stuff. You know, so you gotta like.
it's just normalized.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is alcohol is normalized. It's one of the only drugs that people look at you weird if you say you don't partake in.
Yeah.
And it's poison, essentially. But yeah, the effects of alcohol are crazy. But I did just see today that they say 1 to 2 drinks a week could have potential benefits for dementia. And they were saying they think it's due to the relaxation, but other things can give you that relaxation, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
But like like almost the relief of stress, let's say. But point is, that's 1 to 2 drinks a week. Most people are having like, at least most people I know are having 6 a night. Not every night, but like when you drink multiple.
And what's a drink? Have you seen these huge wine glasses?
Yeah,
that's a drink.
out in California for my brother's wedding, we got Das Boot. It was 8 beers in a glass cup that's shaped like a boot. It was 8 beers, dusted it.
Isn't that some people do that, don't they? Some people drink beer out of a boot, right? Out of a used boot.
Oh yeah. I've been seeing that.
That's like a thing.
Yeah, they've been doing it after they win a UFC fight. They drink out of their shoe.
That's funny and crazy.
Yeah, and I just want to mention though that me and Dylan, how we know each other, because I don't think we mentioned that yet on the podcast, is that we were freshman roommates in college, and we fucking grew up drinking together.
Swaggies, baby.
Swaggies, baby. Yeah, like I think that was the year of my life I drank the most alcohol.
For sure. Me too.
Yeah, and it was always with him. So it's like we've been through that, and I guess it's maturity, I guess it's age, whatever you want to call it. For some people it comes at different years in their life, but like realizing what's actually good and what's actually bad is huge.
And now thinking back to those days, like,
and again, I don't regret anything, but it's, yeah.
so if you think about your mental state and your productivity those days, when you drank a lot, one through 10, what number would you put on it? Mental clarity and productivity.
Here's how I'll put that. I don't really remember my freshman year, details. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, I remember big things that happened, but I feel like, and it lingers, right? We only drank on the weekends. It's not like we drank every single night, but like the week was a blur because of 2 weekend days, for example. And again, like I was saying, I don't have any regrets, but I'm just glad I am where I am now today at this young. It feels good. And that's why I kind of want to do this podcast too, is, not just drinking and sharing awareness of alcohol, but like just how to benefit your life. And like, I want everyone to figure these
and
things out.
move on.
I was just going to say, a lot of people can't get out of that. A
The
lot of people
funks.
don't look back and see like how, like we enjoyed our time. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Like you said, you don't.
I
Regret,
did it
I don't
too.
regret it. I don't regret it either. But it's nice that we can look back and be like, shit. Like at least we're not doing that still.
Like we said in the last episode, be scared of the person you were a year ago.
Yeah.
And obviously that was probably, how many years ago was that? 6?
5, 6 years.
5, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely scared of that person.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And listen, we all did it. They used to call me Disco Inferno when I was young, and
Inferno.
Pat used to call me that. And I used to party, man. I used to go out a lot and drink, But like you said, I look back at that person from 10 years ago, and it makes me feel good that I've moved on from the lifestyle, from the financial hassle, always being broke because you went out every weekend and spent all your money, from how I used to be on social media, trying to get satisfaction from likes and people following me and this and that, where now I'm like, just from waking up, and being able to do the things I do, which is, cook meals for people that need it, do podcasts like this, have good relationships, that makes me happier than going to Miami and partying for a weekend,
Totally.
Yeah.
I totally hear it. It's about finding, enjoying the little things too, as people call it, but just the everyday, the journey, and it's, again, I'm not there yet. Like I'm still trying to learn how to enjoy the journey to my fullest.
Yeah, we all are.
Because we're always just wanting that next biggest thing in our life, the next stage. We're always working for something in the future, but it's a balance between working for what you want in the future and also enjoying now. And balance is key. Again, once a year, For example, go party in Miami. It's probably good for you, you know? It's good to have that relaxation.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, that benefit of that one drink a week. For some people, it's that relaxation that they get. It's so important. Being
Yeah.
content and just...
Yeah, because I mean, you know, if you set a goal for yourself and you have to do these certain things that maybe you want to call boring, you know, you need time away from that. You know, it's like, and like you said, you need to live the day by day. There's a funny quote from Warren Buffett, which I don't remember exactly what he said, but he talks about doing what you love and, you know, don't stop until you find what you love. He's like, you know, some people will do the job they don't like because they think, oh, they're going to retire and then they're going to enjoy themselves and have fun. And he says, you know, it's like saving sex for old age. And then he's like, everyone knows it doesn't work too well, you know. So, you know, it's kind of like that where you of course, you're following the required steps to make sure you achieve your goal. But in that process, you also need to understand that, you know, we're just people in this, you know, on this planet, and we need to be happy and do certain things that, you know, let's say I do something today and then tomorrow I'm going to say, hey, if I didn't do that, maybe I would have progressed a little faster. But you need those moments too.
Yeah. And going back, like, that's why I'm so passionate about doing what you're passionate about. Doing what's in your heart and, you know, not getting stuck in one of these beliefs that, for example, I grew up, you must go to school, you must go to college, you must get a degree, and then you must work for some company that gives you benefits, gives you a retirement fund, whatever. That wasn't for me, and I'm so fortunate that I found that out early enough to do it. And that's just me. But the point is, it's so important to do what you're happy about, what you're happy doing. And, you know, obviously we got to go through challenges and do things that we don't want to do, but that's, you know, beside the point. And it goes back to how you enjoy your day, how you interact with people. If you're on your path and you're doing the things you're passionate about, your interactions with people are going to be better. Like your example, when you get the wrong flavor in your coffee.
Yeah.
And those people, and you see people that are like super angry.
They'll flip out over any little thing, you know.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it goes down to, you know, they're probably in a job that they hate. They're on the way there. You know, it's just one example, but so many things.
But yeah, but even that, I mean, I worked, you know, I had jobs that I didn't love, but I was still happy. So, I mean, of course, you know, you might be at a job where, you know, your boss is an asshole and this and that, and there's different factors that might make you miserable, but you can do something about it. And if you're at the point where maybe you can't at that moment, then at least say to yourself, listen, these are the circumstances right now. I can't change it at the moment. So, you know, let me just deal with it for now. And whenever I can, I'll move on from this situation, you know, because think about it. If you're already miserable at work and you're making your entire day miserable, you know, you're walking around pissed off the entire day, you know, so that's not going to make you feel better, and it's not going to improve your situation at work or at home or wherever you might encounter yourself in a difficult, you know, position or place, you know.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done, but, you know, step by step, 1%, you know, we're always going to keep saying that. Just 1% better.
Yeah, and a lot of people know what changes they need to make. It's just about asking yourself that question and being honest with yourself. And it's all you versus you. So, you know, no one's forcing you to follow your dreams, but like, if you want to live a happy life, then you know the changes you need to make. It might take a day or two to really think about it and reflect, but you know what questions to ask, and you have that gut feeling. So I just encourage everyone to look into that and just really ask yourself, are you enjoying today?
Yeah.
Right now. But it just, you know, it goes back to the importance of today's topic and just routine in your habits and, you know, aligning them with your purpose.
And listen, if you're at a stage in your life where you're not as comfortable as you want to be, you're not in the job that you want to be, I'm pretty sure that if you start your day better in the sense of, waking up on time, maybe allowing yourself time, to go in the shower, relax, drink some water versus, waking up, rushing, speeding, this and that. I guarantee you're going to be in a better mental state starting your day off that way than you will if you're waking up, you're rushing, and then you're going to a job that you probably don't want to be at.
Agreed. And how to have a good morning routine starts with having a good nighttime routine.
Yeah.
So, like I said before, we would come back to our own nighttime routines. So I'll start by saying mine is not good. And in relation to that, my morning routine, like I said, getting out of bed is the hardest thing I do. So, and I do find myself still rushing a bit here and there. So my nighttime routine is the first thing in my opinion, I need to focus on to make my morning routine easier, less friction in the morning so that things flow. So personally, I don't really have one. I get home depending on how late I'm working or if I like to work out late at night that night. And I eat a lot. So one suggestion is don't go to bed with a full stomach. Obviously, if you need to eat dinner, then eat, but don't fill your stomach up. Because I've had days, and I'm in a time in my life where my metabolism's high, and I just eat a lot of food right before bed. My sleep is poor, and it's much harder to wake up, and the brain fog in the morning lasts for hours those days. So again, that comes down to scheduling out your whole day, but personally, and again, my goal being to gain some weight, I have to eat, and it's just a battle I'm fighting personally. Yeah. And then also not being on my phone before bed is also a struggle because that's when I edit a lot of different posts and just go through my videos of the day, of my workouts, things like that, which is productive time, but I need to prioritize a little more and schedule a little more how I manage my time throughout the day so that I can fix that in my nighttime routine as well.
Yeah.
And then another tip too is to set up your day, like lay out your clothes for the next day before you go to bed. That's something I've been doing, one little thing that takes 5 minutes and it makes the morning so much easier. But yeah, so my nighttime routine hasn't been the greatest. And I can make excuses here and there, but my plan is I'm moving out of my parents' house in a little less than a month. So my plan's been, I'll fix it when I move out. Just an excuse, but that's what I'm going to go with for now.
Yeah. So I'm on the same boat. I don't have a night routine. My afternoons and evenings change depending on, what I have scheduled for that day. But yeah, I should figure out, okay, once I get home, this is what I do. I do this, I do that. Because it's all over the place. I mean, sometimes I'll work a little more on my computer. Sometimes I'll just relax and not do anything. Sometimes I'll go home, take a shower, and then, go to my friend's house or family or something like that. So yeah, it's definitely something, gratefully I've never had issues with sleeping. Well, I do try to not eat close to going to sleep, at least an hour, most likely 2. But yeah, like I can literally lay in bed and I'm out in like 30 seconds. So good. Thankfully I don't have that issue, but I do need to be more organized.
And yeah, I just want to touch on the things that I know will help. The things that I'm going to implement soon and the things that other people can start to think about is not being on your phone before bed, right? Not eating, not going to bed on a full stomach, because your body needs that blood flow that it's using for that digestion for all its very, very important processes it goes through when you sleep to reset your body, to recover, all those things. Not being on your phone, blinding your eyes with bright light, it messes up your circadian rhythm. You can't get into as deep of a sleep. In return, it'll be harder to wake up. So, start with 30 minutes before bed, turn your phone off. And then people do what we like to call caveman activities. And that's why I mentioned too, the red light is good before bed because it's not that, I don't even know.
Well, it's because it's not so certain.
It's not so bright.
Exactly. Like bright light when it hits your eyes is going to activate daytime hormones,
Right.
like epinephrine, dopamine, serotonin.
So if you can turn those lights off within 30 minutes, an hour before bed, and just have a red light on per se, you'll fall asleep much quicker, for one. And then caveman activities, things like journaling, reading, stretching, maybe just talking to a loved one before bed, as examples, are huge. That's what you want to be doing before bed. Breath work, yeah, not watching TV.
Yeah,
Which is it's just what you do.
Listen,
At least when I grew up, it was.
I go to sleep with the TV on. Like, it's the last thing I see, the TV. So I should probably start working on that. I probably won't for a long time, because
And again,
you got to keep
like
it real,
I said in the very beginning, no one's perfect. And we're just sharing what we know will help, and we're sharing our own experiences.
And now that you say that, I mean, like I mentioned before, it's very easy for me to go to sleep, but I'm gonna because I track my sleep. I'm gonna analyze and play around with it and see how my deep rest is when I'm exposed to light, and how it is when I'm not exposed to light. Because I'm sure that even though I can go to sleep quick, if I'm getting all that light in my eyes, my body is probably not producing enough melatonin to put me into deep sleep. And deep sleep, that's when brain plasticity happens. Very important things,
all your
that
hormone regulation,
immune system, and all that. So I'm going to play around with that. Maybe we'll talk about it on another podcast.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So those are tips for daytime, for nighttime, and then like Tyler said before, we're not all perfect. Like me personally, I don't think I can stop watching TV before going to sleep, because to me it's like
You win some, you lose some.
exactly, and to me it's like my days are always super busy, so that's like the time when I'm like, and I literally watch the same stuff, it's like the time where I'm in bed, I'm comfortable, and I'm watching something I like,
And it's good to say, like, once you're in a routine, it's very hard to change it. And if the routine's working for you, if that's your form of relaxation, then keep that a part of your routine and just focus on something else that you can change.
Yeah. So maybe not eat, which that I can probably control very easily.
Right. And again, just to recap and conclude, how to optimize your own daily routine and your own habits is to reflect and ask yourself those hard questions, and really just give it some deep thought. Give it the time, and ask yourself what you need to better your life, better your day. 1% better every day.
Yeah. One step at a time.
Brick. What one brick could you change to make that foundation stronger? Yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the New Life Podcast, episode number 2.
So any questions and any suggestions, just send us a message about new topics. We're going to start bringing some people in, interviewing some people from the community, asking them questions. So we're going to post it maybe like a week before who's coming in, just in case you have some questions for that specific person. You can just DM us. We're going to try to maybe do something while we're recording the podcast. Maybe when we do like live podcasts and all that,
Yeah. Once we get into it a little more, we can do some live on Instagrams. And,
Yeah.
We'll definitely be posting a lot of the content on social media, but stay up to date through Instagram, of course. And we'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Have a good one.
It's too cold.